Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week number 33 of the 25-26 EFL Championship season. But before we begin, as ever, let's see how I did last week. I got one outcome and scoreline back. I got Wrexham and Bristol City drawing 2 all correct, plus 4 more outcomes correct, so that is 7 points, taking my season total up to 240. And here is how the championship table looks after 32 matches. And without further ado, let's predict this week's matches. And we're going to start with Blackburn Rovers against Preston North End tonight. It's an 8 PM kickoff. And well, Blackburn, off the back of a 3-1 win against QPR last week, they finally back to winning ways. Preston drew 2 all with Watford last week, so a good draw for them themselves. It's a tricky one because it is at Ewood Park, but I still don't fully trust Blackburn here. And Preston, they're 8th in the table. They're still in the playoff discussion, very much so. And I do think that Blackburn might get something, but I can't look past Preston either. So I'm going to sit in the fence with a 1-1 draw on tonight's match. I think both sides are going to be happy with a point to move on to, I think it's midweek next week in the championship, and push on from there. So 1-1 draw and a point apiece in this one. Next up, we've got Stoke City against Leicester City in a battle of two sides that lost 2-1 in the FA Cup over the weekend. Stoke losing 2-1 to Fulham, went 1-0 up, and Leicester losing 2-1 to Southampton. But in this one, it's in the league, and both these sides are in pretty poor form right now, especially Leicester, who've now dropped into the bottom 3. I just think with Stoke being the home side, I think home advantage might just push them over the line here. Against the Leicester side, who I don't really know what to expect from them, I have in my mind they're a good championship side, but they haven't got the results over the line frequently anymore. At the minute, I'm going to go for a Stoke win here. I'm going to back Mark Robbins for a 1-0 win. I think it's going to be cagey. I don't see many goals in this one, but I do ultimately see Stoke getting the win. So 3 points to Stoke, 1-0. Next up, we've got West Brom against Coventry City. And this is a big match. Well, a big match for survival and promotion. So Coventry, off the back of a very impressive 3-1 win against Middlesbrough on Monday night. And, well, West Brom, they got... what happened with them? They drew 0-0 with Birmingham. Thing is, I do like West Brom more at home at the Hawthorns, but this is against the Coventry side, who have reclaimed top spot of the table above Middlesbrough again. And I think Frank Lampard's boys will continue that form into this one and get a very crucial 3 points again to remain there, especially with Borough playing Oxford this week. I'm going Coventry to snatch it 2-1. I think West Brom might get a goal, but I do think Coventry just have enough to get the 3 points, so 2-1 to Cov. And then we've got another tricky one. It's Swansea City against Bristol City. And Bristol City's game in the FA Cup against Port Vale has been brought forward, postponed up till March the 3rd. It's tricky, this one, because I like Swansea's form. And they're on red hot form right now. But Gerhard Struber and Bristol City, when they want to, they can get results. And I think this might be one. If I had to pick a winner here, I would pick Swansea being the home side, but I think Bristol City and the Robins can get something here. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I'll go for a Desmond on this one. I can see both sides getting a decent enough point and pushing up towards the playoffs, but ultimately a 2-2 draw, so I'm going the point apiece, Desmond. Next up, we've got Hull City against QPR in another tricky battle. Well, I say tricky. I mean, Hull, they did lose their last championship match, but they're on. They're still in pretty good form. They've dropped down to 5th as Ipswich and Millwall have both leapfrogged them in the table. QPR though, they lost 3-1 at home to Blackburn, which is a bit of a disgraceful result on their part. I do think that QPR at home I do prefer. I think the Tigers might actually go back to winning ways here though. Hull are still in that playoff discussion, and if they can keep that gap to like 7th place or so, especially with potentially 3rd through 8th potentially making playoffs this season, it's going to be crucial they keep grinding out results. I think Hull will win it 2-1. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Tigers ultimately get the 3 points to push up towards, solidify their top 6 finish. So 2-1 to the Tigers. And then we move on to the 3 p.m. kickoffs. It's Millwall against Portsmouth. And, well, this is an interesting one. Portsmouth are hovering just above the relegation zone in 18th place, I think. Millwall are up to 3rd. As like I've said before, they do seem to be pushing up to be, they're pressing like a playoff side now. And I think Millwall just have the quality. It wouldn't surprise me if Portsmouth won, especially given they've beaten Charlton 3-1 early in the week. But Millwall are good. I'm going to back Millwall for the trusty 1-0 win. I think it's going to be cagey, but I think Millwall will win 1-0 to solidify 3rd place in the table. Next up, we've got Norwich City against Birmingham City. A battle of 2 good form sides in the Championship this season at the minute. Norwich have been flying, and, since they lost Liam Manning, since they sacked Liam Manning, and they've been, firing under the new manager. And Birmingham themselves, they've been quietly, they're still very much in this playoff discussion themselves. But I wonder if because Birmingham, they've been improving on the road recently, but they're still not on the best run of form in away games. And it is at Carrow Road, and Norwich have been very strong recently. They have been firing on all cylinders. It wouldn't surprise me if this game ended in a draw, but I'm going to back the Canaries here. I'm going Norwich to win 2-1, which would be a huge statement result, because with Norwich's form, I don't think they're out this playoff discussion just yet either. I think this might be, incredibly, given where they are on the table, 17th, I think this may be a playoff battle. But I'm going for the Canaries at home, 2-1, and a major 3 points to push back up towards the top half of the table. So 2-1 to the Canaries. Next up, we've got Wrexham against Ipswich Town, and what a match this could be. Of course, these two just played each other last weekend in the FA Cup. Wrexham coming out victorious. Believe it was 1-0. But I think, I feel like Wrexham might go on a cup run this season. I think Ipswich are more focused on promotion from the league. I think this game Ipswich might make it a bit trickier for Wrexham in this one. I still wouldn't rule Ipswich out of a top 2 push, but it is at the racecourse, and if Ipswich are at home, I may have backed them for a win here, given they need the 3 points, but with this being an away game for the Tractor Boys, and with Wrexham being at home, can't back against either. So I'm going to sit in the fence with another Desmond, another 2-2 draw on this one. I think a point wouldn't be the end of the world in either's playoff push, but I think, a point is what... I think Wrexham would be happy with a point in this one, so I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, a Desmond on this one. Next up, we've got Middlesbrough against Oxford United. And, well, Middlesbrough did lose 3-1 to Coventry at the CBS on Monday night. And that's pushed them back down to second in the table. Oxford are still 23rd, they're still second bottom, but because they only just lost, I believe, 1-0 to Sunderland in the FA Cup over the weekend. But you've got to back Middlesbrough to go back to winning ways here. Oxford have been on pretty poor form. Okay, well, they've been on pretty good run of form since Matt Bloomfield came in. But you've got to back Borough to go back to winning ways. I think they're still in this title race. I'm going to back Borough to win 3-1, I think. I hate to say it, but I think I'm even being generous giving Oxford a goal here. They haven't scored a lot in recent times, but I think Oxford might find a goal from somewhere, given Middlesbrough's pressing, attacking style of football, but I think Borough will ultimately get the 3 points and 3 goals. 3-1 to Borough. Next up, we've got Southampton against Charlton Athletic. And this is an interesting one. It's the Nathan Jones derby once again. This time at St Mary's. And I remember this game earlier in the season, and Southampton ended up victorious 5-1. I think it might be a bit tighter than this time around, but I do still think at St Mary's, Southampton should win this fairly comfortably, reasonably comfortably. I think Nathan Jones might, though, try and settle for a 0-0 draw in this one, but I think our attacking force, our attacking quality, like Cienza, and some other good players that we have, I think we might just have enough quality to snatch a couple goals. I'm going Southampton to win 2-0. Another crucial point, given I think we're only 2 points outside the playoffs now. We need to keep grinding out 3 points if we're going to make the playoffs, and I think we might snatch it 2-0 to Southampton in this one, and a huge 3 points to push even closer towards the playoffs maybe. Next up, we've got Watford against Derby County in another big match. Of course, Derby are, they're 6th place, they're in good form, and they're back in the playoff places. Watford are 12th, and they're kind of a mid-table team this season. It's funny, I think they started to struggle at the start of the season. Then they went on a good run of form, and you're like, maybe they might be a dark horse for the playoffs. And then recently their form has tailed off again. And Derby are one of the, if not the best side away from home in the Championship this season. I think Derby might just get it. I could see it being a draw, but I think the Rams might just get the 3 points here. I'm going to back Derby for a win 2-1, primarily based off of Watford's poor run of form right now and Derby's great away record in the Championship. I am backing Derby for a win 2-1 and 3 points to remain in the top 6. And then finally we go to Sunday at 12 p.m. kickoff. It is the big one. It is the Steel City derby. It's Sheffield United against Sheffield Wednesday. And ordinarily a big game this, but you've got to fancy Chris Wilder's Blades team here. Sheffield Wednesday, they did score a goal against Millwall. I think they lost 2-1, but this is the game that could get them relegated, and I'm sorry, Sheffield Wednesday fans, I know I kind of want to give them a goal here, but I can't see it happening. And who knows? I mean, Chris Wilder's a Sheffield United fan, so he's going to want to ensure that Wednesday get relegated this weekend coming, and I think he might do that. I think the Blaze might win fairly comfortably. I'll black Sheffield United for a win 3-0. I think, I'm sorry Sheffield Wednesday fans, but I can't see you scoring here. They could already be relegated by the Saturday if other results go their way, but I can't see don't go their way. I can't see Oxford beating Borough though, or I can see Portsmouth beating Millwall, but it would surprise me if they did. But I do think that ultimately, I do think Sheffield United will win 3-0 and relegate Sheffield Wednesday. And there you have it, guys. All 12 of this weekend's championship fixtures predicted. Make sure to let me know your predictions in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. And we'll see how well I do next week. Coming next Monday or Tuesday for championship predictions next week. And I'll see you all in the next one.